everyone. Welcome back to Dr. J Tech.
Double J gives you a whole new tech.
This is Jacqueline.
This is Jeffrey.
If you guys remember last week, we were just talking about how the coronavirus and the Central Dogma were formed and how they invade our bodies. So today, we're going to talk about vaccinations.
Great. As everyone knows, with the unpredictable spread of COVID-19, Taiwan has been involved in a severe pandemic. There are several new vaccinations being invented, and Taiwan has also imported some vaccinations to allow general citizens to get vaccinated.
Yes, but what exactly are vaccinations? And how could it prevent us from getting coronavirus? Today, let's have an interesting discussion with everyone on this topic. So, Dr. Jeff, could you please tell us what vaccinations are?
Sure things. But before we go in depth into today's topic, let's quickly go over one more time. Scientists found that inside the organisms, there are 8 different small molecules. All these molecules could form into long molecules if we gather them together, which we call polymers.
Oh, I can imagine the polymers as a string of beads.
Exactly. If we combine the small molecules ATGC in uppercase together into long molecules, there will be a bigger molecule of DNA. If ATGC are bits, then DNA is a string of bits.
However, if we stick these small molecules, AUGC and lowercase together, they will turn into a bigger molecule, RNA. If AUGC are beads, then RNA is a string of beads.
Correct. The central dogma is that DNA makes RNA and RNA makes proteins. The COVID-19 is a RNA virus. The N protein combines with the RNA molecules inside the envelope. And the spike protein is the key feature of coronavirus, which will cause the immune response inside our body. Do you remember how virus harm us?
Yes. I remember you said when coronavirus enters our body, it releases the RNA and uses our body to replicate a large number of central dogmatic reactions to produce more proteins. Functional proteins can harm our bodies.
Yes, and how does our immune system protect us?
We have an immune system that macrophages and the natural killer cells will patrol our bodies, kill the virus when they see virus invading, break it down and tell the characteristics to T cells and B cells, and finally, produce antibodies from B cells. Antibodies recognize the virus when they encounter the virus and will notify all the white blood cells to destroy the virus. However, how are vaccinations fighting against the virus?
The main thing that the new coronavirus will hurt us is the RNA inside, because it will produce functional proteins that will harm our bodies. If we destroy the RNA molecules inside the virus and retain only the envelope with the spike proteins, such as a protein shell, will not hurt us. It is a protein vaccine or attenuated vaccine.
How does that work?
By injecting the protein shell inside our body, macrophage will break it down, tell the characteristics of spike protein to T cell and B cell, and finally produce antibodies from B cell. Antibodies recognize the virus with spike protein when they encounter the virus and will notify all the white blood cells to destroy the virus.
Ah, that makes sense. Pretty amazing.
However, it is too troublesome to insert the protein shell of the entire virus into the body. So it is simpler to insert only a part of protein shell into the body. We see that the most obvious feature of the protein shell is spike protein. So separating the spike protein to make a vaccine is called protein subunit vaccine.
Wait, so the Sinovac in mainland China and the Novavax in the United States belong to the protein vaccines?
Exactly. This is the longest used vaccine in humans. Like the flu vaccine we played every year, scientists studied the protein vaccine for a relatively long time, so the side effect is controllable.
Ah, I see. Well, are there any other vaccinations?
Yeah, Moderna and Pfizer in the United States are both RNA vaccines. According to the Central Dogma, the RNA makes proteins. Remember? So scientists have invented a RNA related to the spike protein and covered by the liposome. The liposome is a kind of fat. When we hit the RNA vaccine into our body, the RNA will produce spike proteins natively due to Central Dogma reaction.
Oh, I see. Then the spike protein will cause an immune response. Macrophages will break it down, tell the characteristics of spike protein to T cells and B cells, and finally produce antibodies from B cells. Antibodies recognize the virus with spike protein when they encounter the virus and will notify all the white blood cells to destroy the virus.
Exactly. The advantage of the RNA vaccine is that the research and development speed is very fast. Remember, the RNA is a polymer formed by monomers of AUGC in lowercase. Humans can currently operate these monomers chemically, so it takes only several months from discovering a new virus to make an RNA vaccine.
Wow, that's literally amazing. So, then what are other vaccines?
According to the Central Dogma, the DNA makes the RNA and the RNA makes proteins. Scientists have invented a DNA related to the spike protein and carried by the attenuated adenovirus. When we hit the DNA vaccine into our body, the DNA will produce the RNA and the RNA will produce spike proteins natively due to Central Dogma reaction.
And again, then the spike protein will cause an immune response to produce antibodies. Antibodies recognize a virus and spike protein when they encounter the virus and will notify all the white blood cells to destroy the virus. Great!
AstraZeneca, which cooperates with Sweden and the United Kingdom, and Johnson & Johnson in the United States are both DNA vaccines. Remember, the DNA is a polymer formed by the monomer of ATGC in uppercase.
Ha, awesome. I wouldn't have to be afraid of the virus as long as I get vaccinated. I can pull all-nighters every day for video games and my favorite snacks.
Wait, hold up. Jacqueline, it wouldn't be a good idea to have this kind of concept. Since these vaccines are injected within our body, it will trigger the immune response. That is white blood cells such as macrophage, natural killer T cell, and B cell to produce antibodies. We still have to maintain a healthy body in order to have healthy white blood cells to make the vaccine effectively.
Fine. I guess I will still have to have a proper sleeping schedule and balance my diet.
Exactly. Get vaccinated, wear your masks, make sure to maintain a healthy body. We can definitely fight against the virus.
Perfect! I've learned so much today. Make sure to tune in next week at the same time to learn more about the new technical information with us. This is Jacqueline.
This is Jeffrey.
And we'll bring back more information to everyone. Bye!
Goodbye.